What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the GMC Motorhome Rescue. This is a 1973 GMC Motorhome that we rescued from an abandoned piece of property. This thing needs a lot of love, and we have been diving into it. We got it running. We got it driving, we drove it back here, and then we gutted the interior. And we are working on getting this thing dialed in and refurbished so we can enjoy it as a family. In today's video, we're gonna go ahead and dial in some of the service items like the water pump, the thermostat, a few other odds and ends, and we're also gonna go ahead and start working on this forward compartment, taking care of some of that floor rot. We might go ahead and start putting some of that interior back in. Definitely wanna work a bit on the dash here, as well as the top here, and we need to work on these issues here. See, we've got a little bit of rot, but thankfully, once you get over to here, it's really solid. And what's nice is these have a really big brace right here, and that's how the framing works. So we should be able to cut off that outer edge and actually just replace what needs to be replaced and not have to do everything. But what we need to do first is get in here and go ahead and get that pulled out so we can see what we're working with. And first, we need to go ahead and get these door panels pulled off. That's a little crunchy. This is going to be easy to remove. See, I just removed it. Look, easy peasy. So what we've got here is a level that we can use as a fence instead of trying to run a line or anything. Dad always has these really good ideas of making fences, and then you don't really have to get too crazy with it. So we've got a fence here that gives us our center line once we're riding. Make do with what you have. Don't even need it, it's perfect. That ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Mm-hmm. It. Go ahead and do. Once you get this stuff out of here, it's really looking like, man, it's time consuming getting, without just ripping everything out. But if you ripped everything out, it'd be extremely time consuming. But just looking at this thing and how it's built, thank goodness they did all of this in aluminum, because with this wood and the moisture, we've got the slightest amounts of corrosion here that scrape and clean up super, super easy. Imagine if that was metal. There would be nothing left of this vehicle in these places, and it would make it a big nightmare. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, it would really be fun if it was like that. Dad's sassing me in here. Sorry, aluminum is metal. I mean steel. Steel, Dad. Steel.
Okay.
See those crusty steel nails or screws that look like nails?
No threat.
There we go. All of the rot is removed. Now we can go ahead and start working on getting the new stuff ready to go, and that means we're about halfway done, right? And of course the flooring in this rig is 1-inch plywood. Specifically, marine grade plywood is the best thing to go in there. Well, you can't even get 1-inch anymore. We actually had this issue. If you notice, this is leftover transom wood from doing the transom in the McKee. And so we're actually gonna use it in here. Now the problem is this is 3/4 inch. So what you gotta do is add a 1/4 inch ply on top. Now we weren't quite 1 inch on that, so we ended up using this stuff here. This isn't quite the same quality, but we needed a full 1-inch piece. And the thing is, this here is gonna be the lower, so it's gonna be down to the floor, and this is gonna be the on top stuff. And we're gonna glue this thing up in such a way that I don't think this will ever have issues again. And we'll show you how we'll do that. And what's nice with this is we will do some routing still, basically with the table saw here to get our edges, our little lips where it steps. So basically the 3/4 will sit down in here, and then the 1/4 inch will be your lip up top here, your lip up top here, up top. And so then at that point we will epoxy it together, and once it dries we'll epoxy over all of it. Once we get it all put in here, I'm going to sand and epoxy the entire thing. And so it's basically gonna be sealed like a boat pretty much. A little bit overkill, a little bit time consuming, but I want it, we want this to last for a really long time. It's lasted this far. You're talking about a vehicle from 1973. I think if we do it right, we take our time, I think we can make it last for quite a bit longer. We've got to mix up our epoxy resin. What we've got here is just Total Boat epoxy resin, just traditional. This is, you pick right up off of Amazon. Again, what we're using on the transom. And then we've got a fast hardener. You mix this 5-to-1. So 5 parts resin, 1 part hardener. We're gonna make quite a bit. So what we'll start with is getting the resin down here and getting these pieces glued together. Okay, so I've run that to the 4 there. Got our hardener, and we'll run that to the matching 4. So now what we're going to do is get it in place in the camper. Just make sure it's fit up correctly. Appears to be it, right? Set a block on it. Definitely mixed up a little bit too much. Once it all of a sudden decided there to start hardening up, started smoking, getting really hot, and it was done, which is good. That's what we want it to do. We want this stuff to get nice, dry, and hard, which you'll see. But now we need to mix up just a little bit more, finish up this last piece. And I got a little bit more I want to do with this resin too before we put these in. Now what I'm doing here is most definitely a little bit overkill, but I'm actually epoxying all of our joints, specifically the ones that we cut off. It'll all be sealed up from the outside, but I don't know. I just wanna, we got the extra stuff here. It doesn't hurt, and it seals it in really nicely. One nice thing with this stuff right here is it doesn't actually let off any kind of fumes until it starts to cure, when you actually start getting that goofy, that crazy smoke stuff going on. So while you're working with it, I don't know that a mask may be suggested, but while you're working with it, it's actually really great to work with. It's not too stout or anything. And let's go ahead and let this cure up. Now that our pieces are all cured, everything looking pretty good. Like I said, probably a little bit overkill here. We definitely don't want to be doing this job again down the road. Now, installation time. Obviously, top side we'll do once these are in. I'm going to be using some liquid nail subfloor and deck, and this is waterproof and adheres to basically anything really similar to the stuff that they actually used in this. So we'll go through and run a nice bead all the way around, kind of in the joint. Think I'm using too much?
No, we'll buy more.
Overkill.
Yeah.
Once that is in place, we can fit our piece, if it'll fit. Oh my, we're gonna put some pressure. Once we get this pushed into place, as I'm holding it down, we're running screws up into the bottom just like they would have from the factory. You can see the ones that are this direction use those big bolts, which we got new of, and then these were all screwed in like so. Now, something I got a little carried away with was gooping in the sides, because I do want to go ahead and epoxy the top just the same as the bottom. Realistically, that'll be just fine. I might scrape off a little bit there. You know, we're going to make sure everything is sealed really good from the outside, so it shouldn't see moisture. But I do want to just be extra safe. And so right here, before I fill the seams in, we will go ahead and get that epoxy resin on the top of this as well. now with the top side done and realistically the bottom side done, we're just gonna go ahead and seal it up even better. Obviously factory had an undercoating under here, so I've got some heavy duty rubberized undercoating. Get it all stirred up. And now a good day of drying, and this stuff is and this stuff is solid. I mean, I don't want to say better than factory. Some of you may, we're not professional carpenters. Maybe this wasn't quite the correct way to do it, but looking at other posts and stuff, this is primarily how folks do these when you don't have full rot. We just need to take care of these certain areas. I feel really good about how everything is sealed up. I feel like it is completely watertight. This thing is practically a boat now. And I think we can go ahead and start working further. Now, before we start, kind of what we were thinking out with this is go ahead and start figuring out carpet, because a lot of you suggest doing wood in the camper here. And I think that's a really good idea, especially with the kids. So all of the foot traffic area here and everything, I think we're going to do some type of wood or linoleum or vinyl or something. But up front, I still want to keep it kind of cozy, motorhome, comfy. And so at least this section here, the front and down these steps, we're going to do in carpet, but I don't think we're going to do that just yet. I think now is time to focus on the servicing. In case we make a big mess here, we want to go ahead and take care of that before we start figuring out any kind of fixtures on the top side. And of course, in our last video, we got it all cleaned up here, so that should help us with getting down and getting to work. Now, with that being said, we've got all our new belts, we've got our thermostat, we've got our thermostat gasket housing, we've got a brand new water pump. The reason we went ahead and put water in this initially is because we knew we'd be servicing these items, so now we can go ahead and just drain that out, get that system cleaned out, and we can start pulling stuff off. I don't see any leaking from our original repair here on the radiator, so hopefully we're still nice and full of water. I'm about to get wet. Hey, it's got water in it. Yep, just straight water. Oh my goodness. At least it's just water and we don't have any antifreeze at all. Obviously completely empty when we first got in there, so don't have to worry about that's a big block and took a lot of stuff, so hopefully we can get everything taken care of that needs to be taken care of and then get it filled up with the right coolant. Now obviously we had leaking around the bolts here, and that's because they're run straight down in the water jacket, but hopefully that might even be a good sign. That means water's probably coming up past the threads. Maybe the last person to, ooh. Yummy. Maybe the last person to do them didn't seal them properly. Something you're supposed to do on this one is actually seal those bolts as we go in. But there's a lot going on with that thermostat housing with the tie-in tube here and everything. So hopefully it'll come out okay. Come on out, little baby. I really don't want to drill and tap this. Please just come on out. This is probably about to break off.
Oh, don't touch this hot.
Okay. I took it off. That's hot. Hopefully it's just stuck in the thermostat housing. We can get vice grips on it. Probably most of it.
Good.
Oh yeah. Still better than drilling and tapping. Now, speaking of tapping, might as well just go ahead and run a cleaner tap through there. Let's make sure those threads are nice and clean, and clean up that sealing surface as well. Tree. I guess we definitely should have taken those fan bolts loose while the belts were on, huh? Oh, not too shabby. Clutch might be a little weak. Will you move that? Thank you. Beautiful. I'd rather this thing cool than not cool, because this thing is cool. This reminds me of my my boating days. This is just like working on a like a V-drive wake boat. No, this is still better. So we're just getting our parameter bolts, and it's not a crazy huge water pump, so that's good. Oh, that really, really hurt. Oh, don't laugh at me. Ooh, that water pump was shot. Yeah, that's crunchy. Woo-wee. You see all up in there, that uses a thrush style washer in there. Wasn't leaking yet, but I don't think it'll lasted long. There we go, our new water pump looks identical. We'll measure the depth just to be safe, and we went ahead and of course got the heavy duty one. Lots of duty, big heavy duty. Let's get everything cleaned up and get this put back on. And now we can slide it on our freshly cleaned surface down here. There we go, fresh water pump. Feels great. Now we ended up just going black with it, obviously, to match the just the grease on the front of the motor for now. If we ever end up really cleaning this thing up and painting it all Oldsmobile blue, at that point we will. Realistically, most of that's covered up anyways by pulleys and stuff. Not a big deal, but we at least have a new water pump in there. New fan clutch. That is a tight tolerance, isn't it? That's good. Now, while we have access, there would be no point in not going ahead and installing a new fuel pump. This is the identical one. It's got an extra little vacuum line there. Let's go and get this thing put on, just a little bit of extra security. 2 bolts on this one, pretty easy to access. Comes right on out of there. What the heck? We've gone ahead and cleaned out our threads. We've got a new 180 thermostat. Obviously, replacement bolts. Don't forget, they are drilled straight into the water jacket. Goop them up. Good so far. Now with the cooling system knocked out, the last major thing I want to go ahead and take care of in this video is our shift cable. Obviously that's gonna make this thing quite a bit easier to drive, and we're not going to be burning ourselves trying to get it put in gear. So we went ahead and ordered this from Applied. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's see how this works. I wonder why that cable wasn't working. That's what I said. So it looks like it just uses some brake clips. Those are, of course, just some Amazon specials. All installed. Park. Oh yeah. Let's see. Park. Reverse. Neutral. Drive. Second. First. Sweet. Shift cable in place, that is going to make a huge difference. Cooling system done. New belts. New hoses. Obviously still need to build that carburetor. I think we'll go ahead and knock that out in the beginning of our next video. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. What sucks, see this rubber pad here? They used to sell them, and I don't think you can get them anymore. If you have one or know where I can get one that's not in that poor a condition, please let me know. Get some gas pulling through our new fuel pump. Listen to that. We can have full conversations in here. Now, one thing we're gonna do, but I wanted to get everything done before we were trying to like mush it all around, is going to put some sound deadening down. A lot of people apparently do it, and even though this thing is this quiet, it still makes a big difference. We're kind of going all out. I say all out, we're really not going all out. You can really go crazy with these, and some people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on these builds. We're going to be doing a fraction of that. But coming together. That's a healthy motor. Too bad you don't notice it in this behemoth. We're in park, reverse, neutral, drive. Man, that's gonna make a huge difference.
Sold on approval. Your watch item is next on the block. Sold.
Yeah! Change of plans. We just bought something that is going to completely transform this build. We are heading to Atlanta, Georgia. Copart, East Atlanta. I guess we're gonna see what we ended up with. What you think? I don't think we'd have towed this one home, huh?
Don't look like it.
It's actually fixable, isn't it? Look at that.
Hey, it's got a spare tire on it.
Air ride suspension.
Yeah,
How
it's got a
cool.
spare tire.
Yeah, full-size spare.
I need it.
Woo.
Yeah,
I'm sure you probably already know where we're going with this. This thing is so cool. I wish we could fix this camper, but it's gonna help us out a lot. Have you opened up the inside yet, Dad?
That's locked.
It's locked? You just
It's
did.
not locked.
They lost their coffee. Oh no, the couch is gone.
Boy, little bitty.
Oh look, it's got the remote control for the air ride.
So AC.
That's weird, they took the whole thing. Oh, this about popped out. We'll have to reattach. A little dent on the fridge, not bad.
Oh, we got a fancy door, a little toilet. That's nice.
Man, this thing took a clobber, didn't it?
Yeah.
What are you doing in there, bud? Holy moly. I guess I'll see if we get this thing loaded. I should kill him.
I thumped his head off.
Dude, thank you so much for the help. What's your name again?
Josh.
Good to meet you, man.
Good
Thank
to
you so
meet
much
you,
for the
man.
help, dude.
Yes, sir, man.
We're crazy, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We are back, made it absolutely no problem. Got it strapped down there pretty good. Now you probably figured it out by now. A lot of you had suggested in our previous videos, let's go a bit more modern. Let's make this thing comfortable. Let's make it enjoyable. No point completely getting rid of everything, especially if we want to do some camping and enjoy the GMC. So we found this really totaled camper. A lot of times these campers are savable. This one was beyond. This is a 2022. This is a brand new camper, and it obviously got pretty killed, and we got it really reasonable at $875. Now you cannot forget fees with Copart. It was $1,400 after fees. But we had planned for that, and even so, that was extremely reasonable for everything this comes with. Less than a year ago, this was a $35,000 camper that we just picked up for $1,400. Now, why is that great? All the goodies that this thing comes with that we're gonna be able to put on and in the GMC. Starting up front here, just off the bat, 2 brand new 1,000 cranking amp, these aren't 1,000, but 2 brand new batteries. You know, these are $100+. These are about $115 a piece. Boom, that right there. And another big thing, the AC may work on the motorhome, but will it? This has a 13,500 BTU AC, which is going to be perfect for the motorhome. We have all the wiring in this one. What's really cool is this, the reason this one was so much, even being a 20-foot, this is a Rockwood Geo Pro 19. Obviously, it is a toy hauler, but this one was an off-road thing. It's got air ride suspension. I don't think we can use that on ours, but it's really cool. What I think we might end up doing is just removing this entire suspension because it unbolts. Maybe we'll build a really cool off-road trailer or something at some point in time, because we have some fun off-road builds coming really soon. Really cool wheels and tires. Obviously the tires are brand new, you know, so that's great, and that's just extra. I think if we wanted to sell that, I feel like we could probably sell that axle setup. You know, if someone wanted, those are expensive off-road trailers. Someone wanted the axle setup, we could probably close to pay for this thing with that and the wheels and tires. But I think we'll set it to the side for now. Now, another thing that's really cool is you notice up top, this one has the extended, oh, cool, 2 solar panels up top here. You know, we had mentioned a solar setup. Some people were like, you know, that's not a good idea. That's really expensive, but we have the full setup here. We can take this and we can run a lot. We can run the fridge, we can run, and that's what's cool. That's another thing that's so cool about this thing, because it is an off-road style one. It has a 12-volt fridge, 12-volt television with DVD player. A lot of the stuff here is designed for 12-volt. And so that's a really big thing, I think, for putting in the motorhome, is to have all that stuff. That AC unit, they're like $1,100 for a 13,500. I think you can find them cheaper. We've got the nice vent we can put on there. We've got the stainless fridge here, which is cool because it's a 12-volt fridge. So we can run that, we can put our drinks in there. It can sit there and run the entire time we're driving around. It has this, let's climb up in here. Here, you wanna hand me the camera? Check this out, Magic Chef stove here. We do have it. Now it looks like they removed the couch here. I probably wasn't gonna put it in there, but it would have been cool, but they probably had to remove it. Maybe had a big bike in here. Oh yeah, this is the motorcycle clamp, so they probably had a big motorcycle in here, because I did notice that right there. Hopefully their bike's okay. Hopefully they're okay, whatever accident happened. Couple little dents on here, no big deal. Brand new, still looks great. This is great. That's really nice. This stuff is going to be so cool in there. This is really nice. There is coffee absolutely everywhere. Stainless fixtures and everything, and these are backlit and everything, so that's going to be so cool. So I think we'll probably end up using this entire setup here. Thinking we might use the whole, I guess all this has to do is be screwed back together. Might end up using this whole setup here. All the lights and everything. Awning, all your water tank stuff to check and see level. So what's great is we're going to be able to use all of this in the motorhome. Aiming to use all of this cabinetry. We may end up changing the color, but it's all, at least all here, and it's all brand new. And what's nice is all of this stuff is it's nice. I mean, it's gonna really help and modernize a lot of the camper. So this is cool. So you've got the TV here. It's got a DVD player built in, obviously built into the Bluetooth surround system, and it's 12 volt. So we can be riding down the roads. The kids can be watching some TV or playing some Minecraft. You know, but what's exciting about this is we should be able to use every single bit of the wiring in here, the Bluetooth surround system to put in there, all of the LP system, all of the solar system. There's so much we can use And just to upgrade some of our appliances was going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. And now we have all of that pretty much brand new. So this is just something we like. You've noticed in the past, we like to do this with our car rebuilds. Buy a complete car, part it out, get a lot of stuff that we need, and then sell some of it to pay for it. And this is an all aluminum frame. We should be able to scrap it out, save all the windows out of this thing. We have 12-volt heat, a lot of really good things that are going to be great in that motorhome. And we should be able to, after scrapping stuff out, selling a few odds and ends, have everything for practically free, if not just a little bit of money, you know, a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. And I think this is, we would have felt bad if we hadn't got one that was just completely totaled. So I hate it, but thankfully this one is just completely gone. And it's going to help us to modernize and make the RV very comfortable, very modern, and it's going to steamroll the process of rebuilding this thing. You know, this should, once we get the rest of the woodwork figured out, the outside cleaning up and sealing, we should be able to roll through the interior rebuild of this thing. How does that work?
Solar power.
Ah!
Solar power.
It's a solar water. That's our frame ground. I think we might have a pinched wire somewhere. We were gonna try to hook this up. We ordered an adapter. What's weird is this is not your standard RV hookup. It uses like a, looks like a shore power. I bet I'm gonna take that loose. That just looks like a plug. Oh, I wonder if we did it. Oh. What'd you do that for?
I didn't put that one on.
Weird. That was me. I don't know what Dad did that for.
Hey, there's oven lights. Let's see the oven lights.
Hey! I broke the fork. Okay. Look at that.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy how that works. Oh my goodness. It's like they're almost brand new bulbs.
The fridge is on. Heck yeah. Nice thing about a 12-volt fridge. And this right here is one of the big things. Yes, it has some dents, probably had their motorcycle in here, but these things are, to have a 12-volt fridge is really nice and probably something we could not have afforded. This is definitely going in the camper. It's slow. Oh. It's got different settings. How nice is that? Is on. And that is working. Oh, that's the Wi-Fi ranger. I wonder if we should, I don't know how that works or what it does. That's awesome! Well, Amazon made our day. Or at least we'll see if they made our day. Hopefully this is the right one. It's funny, this is a, like I mentioned, a shore power, kind of like a boat. Beautiful. Fridge is 12 volts, of course we hear that running. That is charging 13.3 volts. High cool. And all the way cold. It's on. Not too noisy or anything. You know, this is obviously a bit different than your older stuff. We'll just wait to hear that compressor hopefully kick on. some ice cold air come out. Also see the microwave on here, light. Pizza. Start. Here it goes. Sweet. That's awesome. Obviously we know this works, and it literally cools down immediately. That's gonna be so great. Ice cold AC. Well, there you have it. Purring away. Cool as a cucumber. Charging. And we've got the floor solidified. We've got the rotten parts taken care of. We have everything coated. We have the entire front here basically done. The inner fender's in and everything, but we definitely want to do a little bit of drive time, make sure everything looks good. I think first thing in our next video, we work up here in the front area more so we can go ahead and finish this whole front section. We want to fix the couple cracks here. We want to get this cleaned up, painted, get some LED lights installed, work our way down, get all this reassembled, and start working on this dash. We do notice the AC actually does click on, but the blower motor doesn't work. So we need to look at that and see if we can figure out what's going on there, tie everything in, work a bit more on getting this dash cleaned up, getting our panels put back on, go ahead and putting the sound deadening, and maybe we'll go ahead and put carpet up front here. And thankfully, everything with this camper works. We expected it to be in a 2022, but you never know with that major hit like that. Dad actually noticed the sticker on this thing. It was delivered 6 of 22. They probably didn't have this thing a year, and we really hope whoever was in that accident was okay. We're thankful to be able to get this thing. We're gonna be able to use a majority of what's in here to help us rebuild this RV. And what is great is this should go ahead and really move the rebuild process along quite a bit quicker than maybe it would have been trying to source each little thing individually. It's definitely gonna at least make it a lot cheaper. And what I think is cool is obviously you can option these with 190 watt, 2 or 3. I think maybe even 4 190 watts. This one's got 2 190 watt solar panels. We have the 1000 inverter, that whole solar system set up, which I think is gonna be great in here. You know, that's not gonna power everything all the time. They say you can run them, they're harsh on the inverter, but you can run some small stuff for a while, but we'll keep the couple batteries just like we have in here, and it should be able to run everything for probably over a weekend, especially if we have good sun. I don't know that we'll put a generator. I noticed a lot of suggestions really need a generator, and I think if we do a lot of camping with this thing that does not involve campgrounds, most of the time we do campgrounds, you have full hookup, not an issue. If we don't, I think we'll build a rack on the back. We'll keep a little Honda or similar, maybe a Predator generator on the back of this thing that's nice and quiet, and keep it out of the motorhome. We'll have it covered and stored on the outside and locked up on the back there, and I think that'll work just all right. But I really hope you all are excited, getting everything dialed in up front there. Dragging this thing home, maybe it's not the best idea, but I think it's going to be really fun, and I hope you all have enjoyed the rebuild to this point and are excited for what's to come. If you are, be sure to subscribe button, notification bell to keep up with our future uploads on this rebuild, some of our other rescues and rebuilds. And if you have been a part of the channel, we really do appreciate it so incredibly much. That is going to wrap it up. Peace out, and catch you all on the flip side.